What is up, everybody? It's your boy Nerdicane. This is X-Force number 1 by Ed Brisson. This is what's coming up in the next couple days or so, and that is a sneak peek of a video game that I'm starting to build. It's going to be a side-scrolling shooter, kind of like Gradius and Life Force, R-Type. Nothing as insane as Ikaruga, but it's probably my first game. I'm building it in Java, which means I'm not using a framework like Unity or the Unreal Engine. If I'm doing it in Java, it means I have to do everything. I have to build every piece of the game, which I'm very good at Java. That's my main language. But anyway, getting to the comic book. Ed Brisson. So I think everybody has like a skill that they are just superb at, and that skill is shaped. You shape that skill by your efforts, your work, things like that. So I can hand toss a pizza. I haven't done it in a long while because I haven't owned a pizza place in a long time. But I make a spectacular pizza. SJWs, they spend their day focusing, sharpening their skills on destroying people. So they're very good at destroying people. Like that YA author who from China just realized. And I'm probably going to do a video on that because, man, that is a sickening situation. There's videos on that. Diversity in Comics just did a very good video on that because he is somebody who has dealt with that recently. But anyway, let me get back to this comic. Ed Brisson writes a damn good action comic. He writes team comics very well. His Cable run, which sort of turned into a team. DNC says every individual book turns into a team book. And that's sort of what Cable was, because the Cable series had a lot of the old X-Force in it. But it's not a bad thing in that situation. It's actually very good. He writes this very well. So this is X-Force number 1, and I totally forgot, because Marvel spends so much time pushing gimmicks onto people that they forget to push and advertise books like this with writers who are interested. They're in it to win it, and that's what Ed Brisson is. So first off, we get the tribute to Stan Lee, and that's a gorgeous picture of Stan Lee, and I miss him. I miss his spirit. I miss that personality in comics, and I wish Marvel missed that personality and that energy, because Marvel just doesn't have that energy anymore. But there are bright spots. This is one of them. So X-Force, this is kind of cool. This starts off in random-ass Russian break-off nation called Transia. I don't know if that's real or not, but they speak Romanian there, so wherever that is. So this mutant kid gets here, and these military guys are looking for him, and they're trying to capture him, but this kid runs, so they wind up killing him. And that's just a dark opening to this. You see that mutants are being hunted. And as this story unfolds, you kind of start to realize that something definitely stinks. So you catch here, and this X-Force team, and it's the way I've always thought X-Force should be. X-Force should be a mutant task force, like a SWAT team, like the X-Men's version of a SWAT team. And that's sort of what this is. They're sort of a detective SWAT team. They're very heavy-handed in what they do, but the only things that they do require a heavy hand. So this X-Force team is going in, and they're dealing with these Russian, Soviet, ex-Soviet arms dealers. And guys like that, they deal in guns, so they have guns all over the place. So you have to go in there heavy-handed, and that's what this team is. And so they start getting some information. I'm going to skip a couple pages. I don't want to get a copyright strike. I'm going to skip a couple pages. They are actually looking for Cable. They're looking for this new young Cable, who I'm not really sold on yet, who murdered the old Cable, and they're tracking him down for some reason. Cool part, it shows this operation in the country of Transia, where Deathlock, and I'm not sure why Deathlock has like a psychopath human host right now. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I have to do a little research into that. And this is the new young heartthrob. I call him Heartthrob Cable. That's sort of what he's designed to do. he's going in because he got caught and he's basically bailing him out. The whole action sequence, and I want to skip a little more of this. The whole action sequence is awesome of the breakout. So you wind up with no, actually I wanted to show something. Marvel, there's something I wanted to show somewhere here. Marvel, give your artists more time, okay? Look at this collection of curved lines. This is supposed to be the ship. How do you get into this thing? Where's the engine? What's the propulsion? What the hell? It looks like a vacuum. It looks like a dust devil with 2 boomerangs glued underneath it. It's just, Marvel, please give your artist more time to do stuff like that. About the art, I'm not really crazy about this artist. I mean, look at this. Look, he's Proud Star. He's turned him into like Native American Frankenstein in this picture. It's just a, hey. But anyway, yeah. Marvel, give your artist a little more time to draw things like that. I mean, look at this. Looks like a shoehorn with like those fingernails that women get put on. I forget what they're called, acrylics or something like that. It looks like a shoehorn with an acrylic fingernail glued on top of it. So the X-Force team drops in, bails Cable out because he basically got surrounded. It's a cool scene. It's a really cool scene. It's really well done. Once again, Ed Brisson, very good action comic book writer. He's really good at that stuff. God, look at that. That's just, it's painful to see. I want somebody to shoot this thing down. I just want them to leave. Give him a DC-8. Give him a Cessna. Just get him a flight on United, because this thing is just atrocious. This is like, it's an aerial abortion. Just give your artist more time. Come on, Marvel. So this is where it starts getting a little deeper. This is the crazy thing, is these mutants just busted out Cable and Deathlock. This dude, who is sort of like anti-mutant Stalin, comes in and he pulls a little switcheroo and basically assassinates the president and does like this very thinly veiled cover-up. But he's kind of the big general. So you have that extra subplot onto this. You have the X-Force tracking down Cable. You have Cable on his own mission there, tracking down the guns that military is. It turns out there's another mystery man in this whole thing. So it's layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, and it feels very much like, it feels a little bit like a Claremont story back in the heyday of Chris Claremont, where, I mean, it would just like, the story would have layer upon layer and layer, and the layers weren't even touching each other. It would just cut to a different part. What was that one there was a series I really loved, Extinction Agenda. Felt like that because there were subplots to it and there were things going on that the main characters didn't know, and that's sort of what this feels like. So it ends when it's basically, they're like, oh crap, we've been framed, this dude is framed. You guys, anybody would know that this guy's the villain. He's got half a melted head. Of course he's the villain. I'm sure some mutant did that, but that's a good story. That's really good. I'm sorry, this is a recommendation. Here's a free comic book. I don't know which comic book, but there's the code. I saved myself the embarrassment of like having to peel it off. I pre-peeled it so you guys can just have a free comic. So this is the second one. This is called The Big Sleep In. And I really started to hate this, but then I realized this is actually a good cleanup. And if I remember Boom Boom from back in the New Mutants day before X-Force, this is sort of who she is. I mean, she's mission-oriented. She's a little scatterbrained. She is the type of mutant who would oversleep on a mission, and that's what she's done. So, there's a lot of like unnecessary cursing, unnecessary threatening. Like, she's threatening this Uber driver to blow up his cab. He doesn't know she's a mutant. He's just a random person. He's like, what are you talking about, lady? This dude would definitely call the cops. This dude would definitely record her and definitely call the cops if she was like screaming, go faster or I'll blow up your car. That's psycho talk. And there's a lot of millennial babble in this. I'm going to skip a couple of these pages too. That's the only downside. I kind of liked this this sub-story, this subplot going on. She missed the plane. You know, she overslept and missed the mission, which is actually a cool concept. It humanizes the character very much. And I sort of like it. I'm going to skip all of this because this is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to skip that. I really do want you guys to go buy this. I'm a big fan of Ed Brisson. Ed Brisson wrote both of these. Dylan Burnett, not crazy about that art. I liked the art in the second one, in the Boom Boom story, but let me close the book. I'm not going to show you guys any more of this. Go buy it. And here's the thing about Ed Brisson. Like nowadays, in 2019, 2018, he is a standout. I sort of want him to get paid well, but I don't want him to be overworked like Donny Cates, where it just seems like Donny Cates is like, here you go, make a comic book. You know, that's what it feels like Donny Cates is. Donny Cates isn't taking the time to craft a story anymore. He's got so much work at Marvel, he's just writing something really quickly and then shipping it off. So I hope he's getting paid well for this because he's doing a really good job. And a good example of how he's doing a good job, I'm going to go buy number 2. Number 2 is on the shelves right now. Go buy that as well. This is a recommend. Get this book. This is actually a really neat... This is a number 1 like we used to see in Marvel number 1s. It starts something up. It gives you a bunch of layers. It gives you some subplots. And it says, okay, here you go. This is the ride we're going on. And you're ready for it. Where so many number 1s that you see, they're almost a whole book of exposition as to who the character is, and then they don't really they'll lay down one plot, and that's it, and you're just bored with it. You're like, maybe I'll pick up number 2. This one, definitely going to get. Definitely recommend. I also recommend that you hit like and hit a subscribe if you know anybody who likes these, anybody in Comicsgate or anybody who just likes comic book reviews. If you like my content, please hit a like, hit a share, let your friends know. I'm at 200, let's get to 250. Let's get to 250 by the end of February, okay? But thank you for watching. You guys, the weekend's coming up, Super Bowl weekend. I'm here in Atlanta. I am going nowhere near Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's gonna be a freaking nightmare. Anyway, I gotta work one day this weekend. But thanks for watching. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. You guys go out, have a great weekend, and find some comics you love. As always, if there's a comic you love that you think I should review, let me know. You guys have a good weekend. Bye.